Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with great recent recordings of the classics, just to prove that, the world of classical music isn't hopelessly mired in a pathetic nostalgia for the glory days of yore. No, we're not. We are always listening to new recordings of great works, and as I have always claimed, possibly in contradistinction to some of my colleagues, that a great recording is its own justification. It doesn't make any difference how many previous recordings of something there were. I really believe that. You have to listen to each thing as it comes, and there is always something fresh and new to say about the great works, and so what the hell? Keep them coming as far as I'm concerned, as long as they're great. Of course, if they're not great, that means I have a job, so I'm happy with that too. Anyway, we are talking today about Iberia by Albeniz. Oh, what a great work this is. All right, this is the performance by Nelson Goerner, and it's on the Alpha label, and it was recorded, just to be clear, in, let's see, there's a date. I know there's a date here. Alpha 2022. Holy Moses, it's fresh off the boat. Look at that. It's a toddler. No, it's an infant. It's 3 years old, barely. And it's amazing. It's as great as any other recording of Iberia that has ever existed. So, it just goes to show, like I said, they're always coming. And they're marvelous. So let's talk about Iberia. Let's talk about the work a little bit first, because Iberia is one of the greatest and most important romantic piano pieces. And a lot of people actually don't know it. And I find that kind of remarkable. It was orchestrated, bits of it were orchestrated by Albeniz's colleague Arbós. Ferdinand was his first name, I think, or something like that, Arbós. And then the other bits of it that Arbós didn't do, he made like a 5-movement suite, were done by others. And so you can get the whole thing in an orchestral version. And it may even be better known for that reason, because it's big and splashy and colorful. But it was an iconic repertory work by the great Spanish pianist Alicia de la Rocha. Yeah, and she recorded it at least 3 or 4 times. In fact, I think I have one sitting right here. I usually keep an Iberia handy. Oh, I don't know. It's back here somewhere. I know it's there. She was great at it. She did it fabulously. And there was a very famous Spanish pianist, Esteban Sanchez, who made a recording that a lot of people sort of, screamed and yelled and carried on about and said was just like the ultimate in Iberiaism. And we cannot confuse this Iberia with Debussy's Iberia, which is, of course, an orchestral triptych, a little 3-movement orchestral piece. You see, what this Iberia does is take you through Spain, and it has, 12 sections, each one of which is another geographical location in Spain. So it is, the only equivalent to Iberia is Smetana's Ma Vlast, My Country. The 6 big tone poems about the glories of Czechoslovakia, or what is now Czechia, and Slovakia are separate countries. But in those days, they were all one, Austro-Hungarian clump. And Smetana did something similar, only as an orchestral work. So this is really major stuff. It is the iconic Spanish national romantic thing. And like I said, one of the all-time great, we call it romantic nationalism. That is that period of intensely emotional and expressive music, often based on folk tunes or folk melodies or regionalisms or dance music from specific locales, and celebrating the glories of Spain. And this does it. I mean, this is it. Now, this particular performance by Nelson Goerner is really, really stunning. I mean, the piece is extraordinarily difficult. It's a virtuoso showpiece. And I don't know if Albeniz ever intended that it should be performed complete, because it exists in 4 books, each with 3 movements, so or three parts. So the whole thing is very, very extensive, and you can do separate sections of it. But these days, because we are like into completism and things like that, it's often certainly recorded complete and often played complete. The Some of the numbers are quite famous. I mean, the big orchestral one that got orchestrated was El Corpus in Sevilla, Corpus Christi in Seville, which is this huge thing with bells and stuff going off. It sounds very different on the piano than it does in the orchestration, because of the piano, you hear all of the intertwining melodies and accompanimental figures on a more or less equivalent plane of tone, which is really very, very interesting. It's very interesting. The opening evocación is just one of those soulful, amazing pieces. It's absolutely beautiful. Triana is very well known. El Albacin is very well known. Lavapiés is gorgeous. Jerez and Malaga. Oh my God! And this performance is beautifully paced, wonderfully shaped. It's 82 minutes long. It's not the fastest on Earth, but then again, the piece usually takes 2 CDs because it's big. There's a lot of music there. These are major pieces, and Goerner has the chops for it and a beautiful tone throughout, and oodles of virtuosity. It's an absolutely glorious performance that ranks with the best, and it's recent. It's quite recent, extremely recent. So if you want something really, really, really recent, and you're looking for great works and great performances of them, give this one a shot. I mean, you're going to have a terrific collection when we get done with this series of recent fabulous performances, because they're out there, and we've been talking about them all along. You know, I just think that when there's so much coming out and so many things to choose from, and we don't really pay attention to dates. I mean, we don't, because it's not the date that matters. It's the quality of their performance. But for some of you, the date matters. And so I am happy to oblige with this 2022 stunning Iberia. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.